I'm lying perfectly still in our bed, my eyes closed, controlling every breath, in and out, slow and steady, like I'm deeply asleep. But I'm not asleep. My heart is pounding so hard I'm terrified Colin will hear it. Through my barely open eyelids, I can see his shadow moving across our bedroom. It's past midnight and he's fully dressed, jeans, a dark sweater, shoes. He moves quietly, carefully, like he's done this before. He's pulling something from the back of our closet, a black duffel bag I've never seen in my life. I want to sit up. I want to scream at him and demand answers. But I force myself to stay frozen, to keep my breathing deep and even, because I need to see what he does next. I need to know the truth. Colin zips the bag and slings it over his shoulder. Then he turns and walks to my side of the bed. I can feel him standing over me, watching. My skin prickles with fear. His hand hovers near my cheek. I sense it more than see it. For a horrible moment, I think he's going to touch me, and I don't know if I can keep pretending. "I'm sorry," he whispers. So quiet I almost don't hear it. Then he turns and leaves the room. I hear his footsteps moving through our house. The front door opens, closes. The lock clicks softly. Only then do I open my eyes fully and let out the breath I've been holding. My hands are shaking. My whole body is shaking. What is my husband doing? Let me back up. Let me tell you how I got here, lying in the dark, terrified of the man I've been married to for 5 years. It started 3 weeks ago, though I didn't realize it at first. Every evening around 9 o'clock, Colin makes me chamomile tea. It's a sweet ritual he started about 6 months ago. He'll kiss my forehead and say, "Sit down, honey. You've been working all day. Let me take care of you." I'm a graphic designer, and I work from home, so by evening I'm usually tired anyway. The tea always seemed like a thoughtful gesture, a sign of how much he loves me. But lately, something's been wrong. Within 20 minutes of drinking that tea, I feel overwhelmingly drowsy. Not normal tiredness, this is different. Heavy, like my whole body is being pulled underwater. My eyes get so heavy I can barely keep them open. My thoughts get fuzzy and slow. I always end up in bed by 9:30 and I sleep so deeply that I don't remember anything until morning. No dreams, no waking up in the middle of the night like I usually do. Just thick, black nothing. And when I wake up, I feel terrible, groggy, confused, like my head is stuffed with cotton. At first, I blamed stress. Maybe I wasn't sleeping well and my body was just catching up. Maybe I needed vitamins or more exercise. But then last Tuesday, I had lunch with my best friend Diane. She's a nurse at County Memorial Hospital, and when I mentioned how tired I've been, she got this concerned look on her face. "Every single night?" she asked. "After drinking the tea?" "Well, yeah. But Colin makes it for me because he's sweet." "Natalie?" Diane put down her fork and looked at me seriously. "That's not normal fatigue. That sounds like you're being sedated." The word hung in the air between us like a bomb. "That's crazy," I said, laughing it off. "Colin wouldn't—" But Diane wasn't laughing. "I'm not saying he would. I'm just saying that what you're describing isn't normal. Promise me you'll pay attention. Really pay attention." So I did. That evening, I watched Colin make my tea. Really watched. He filled the kettle, selected the chamomile bag from the cabinet, poured the hot water into my favorite blue mug. Then he turned his back to me for just a moment, reaching for the honey. His hand moved quickly over my cup, so fast I almost missed it. When he handed me the tea, he was smiling. "Here you go, sweetheart. Drink it while it's hot." And that's when I knew. Something was very, very wrong. I stare at the blue mug in my hands, watching the steam curl up into the air. Colin settles onto the couch with his laptop, already focused on whatever he's working on. My mind is racing, but I force my face to stay calm. Normal, like nothing's wrong. I take a small sip. The tea tastes the same as always, sweet with honey, warm and comforting. But now I'm looking for something different. something I wouldn't have noticed before. There's a faint, bitter edge underneath the sweetness, so slight I've probably been ignoring it for months. My stomach turns. I sit in my usual armchair, pretending to scroll through my phone while Colin types away. He seems relaxed, normal. This is our routine. Me drinking tea, him working on his laptop, both of us winding down for the evening. Except tonight, I'm not drinking the tea. When Colin gets up to use the bathroom, I move quickly. There's a potted plant on the side table next to my chair, a little fern I've been trying to keep alive. I pour half the tea into the soil, then refill the mug with water from the bottle in my bag. My hands shake as I do it, terrified he'll come back and catch me. But he doesn't. When Colin returns, I'm sitting exactly where I was, holding the mug like nothing happened. I finish the watered-down tea over the next 10 minutes, watching him from the corner of my eye. He glances at me occasionally, but he doesn't seem suspicious. 9:15 passes, 9:30, 9:45. I feel completely normal, alert, awake. No heavy drowsiness, no fuzzy thoughts, no overwhelming need to sleep. The realization settles over me like ice water. Something in that tea was making me pass out, and tonight, because I didn't drink it, I'm fine. I force myself to fake a yawn, then another one. I'm exhausted, I say, stretching my arms over my head. I think I'll go to bed. Colin looks up quickly. His eyes search my face. Already? It's not even 10 yet. I know, I just feel so tired. I manufacture another yawn, making it look real. For a moment, something flickers in his expression. Is it relief? Satisfaction? It's gone so fast I can't be sure. Okay, sweetheart, he says softly. Get some rest. I'll be up in a bit. He stands and walks me to the bedroom, his hand gentle on my lower back. The same touch he's given me 1,000 times. But now it makes my skin crawl. Sleep well, he says, kissing my forehead. I change into my pajamas, brush my teeth, and climb into bed. I close my eyes and regulate my breathing, in and out, slow and steady, like I'm already drifting off. I hear Colin move around the house. The television goes silent. He's on the phone. I can hear his voice, low and muffled through the door. I can't make out the words, but there's an urgency to his tone. Footsteps approach the bedroom. The door creaks open slightly. I keep my breathing even, my body relaxed. Everything in me wants to open my eyes and confront him, but I don't. I wait. Colin stands in the doorway for what feels like forever. I can feel him watching me, checking. Then he leaves, closing the door quietly behind him. More sounds in the house. Something being moved in the hallway. The closet opening, the one we barely use, filled with old storage boxes and winter coats. I hear a zipper, something heavy being lifted. My curiosity is killing me, but I stay in bed. I count to 100, then 200, making sure enough time has passed. Finally, carefully, I slip out of bed and tiptoe to the door. I open it just a crack and peer out into the hallway. Colin is in our spare room, the one he uses as an office. I can see light under the door. I hear him talking on the phone again, his voice too quiet to understand. I'm about to retreat back to bed when I hear something that makes my blood freeze. Same time tomorrow, Colin says. She won't know. She never does. My heart stops. She never does. How long has this been going on? How many nights has Colin done something while I was unconscious from whatever he's been putting in my tea? I slip back into bed, my mind spinning with fear and questions. And that's when I decide, tomorrow night, I'm going to find out exactly what my husband is hiding. I barely sleep. Every sound in the house makes me jump. When Colin finally comes to bed around 1 a.m, I keep my eyes closed and my breathing steady, pretending to be in that deep, drugged sleep he expects. He settles in beside me, and within minutes he's snoring softly. How can he sleep so peacefully when he's been drugging me? when he's been sneaking around doing God knows what while I'm unconscious? The questions eat at me all night. The next morning, Colin acts completely normal. He makes coffee, asks about my day, kisses me goodbye before heading to work, like he's the perfect husband. "I've got showings all afternoon," he says, grabbing his keys. "Probably won't be home until 6. "Okay," I say, forcing a smile. "Have a good day." The moment his car pulls out of the driveway, I'm moving. I go straight to the bathroom and search behind his electric razor, where I noticed something yesterday. My hands shake as I pull out a small orange prescription bottle. Zolpidem. Sleeping pills. The label says they were prescribed to Colin Morrison 6 months ago. The bottle is nearly empty. Only a few pills left rattling at the bottom. 6 months. He's been doing this for 6 months. I take a photo of the label with my phone, my hands trembling so badly the first 2 pictures come out blurry. Then I search the rest of the house. His office is locked. The door has one of those handle locks with a key, and I've never known it to be locked before. I try to open it anyway, but it won't budge. What is he hiding in there? I check the spare closet in the hallway where I heard him last night. Everything looks normal. Old boxes, winter jackets, a broken vacuum cleaner we've been meaning to fix. But when I look closer, I notice the carpet is disturbed in the back corner. Something heavy sat there recently. The duffel bag, probably. I'm searching the bedroom when my phone rings. It's Diane. "Hey," she says. "How are you feeling today?" I sink onto the edge of the bed. "Diane, I think you were right. I think Colin's been putting something in my tea." Silence. Then, "Are you sure?" "I tested it last night. I didn't drink the tea, and I felt completely fine. No drowsiness at all. And this morning, I found sleeping pills hidden in the bathroom, prescribed to him." "Oh my God, Natalie." Her voice is tight with concern. "You need to be careful. If he's willing to drug you—" "I need proof," I interrupt. "Real proof. Can you help me?" "What do you need?" "If I bring you a sample of the tea, can you test it? Quietly?" She's quiet for a moment. "I can have a friend in the lab run it. Off the books. But Natalie, if this is what we think it is, you need to go to the police." "I will. I just need to understand why first. Why would he do this?" After we hang up, I make a decision. Colin said he'd be showing houses all afternoon, which means his car is accessible. I grab my keys and drive to his real estate office across town. Sure enough, his silver SUV is parked in the lot. He's probably inside doing paperwork between appointments. I park a few spaces away and wait, my heart pounding. 20 minutes later, Colin exits the building with a couple. Potential buyers, probably. They get into their own car and Colin gets into his SUV. They drive off in different directions. The moment he's gone, I use the spare key I have for his car and slip into the driver's seat. My hands are shaking as I search. The front is clean, nothing unusual. I check under the seats. Nothing. Then I open the glove compartment. Registration, insurance papers, a tire pressure gauge, and underneath, folded up small, a stack of receipts. I pull them out and smooth them open. Hotel receipts. From a place called Riverside Inn. Different dates over the past 2 months, but there's a pattern, every Wednesday night. Today is Wednesday. My vision blurs. A hotel? Is Colin having an affair? Is that why he's been drugging me, so he can sneak out and meet someone? The betrayal hits me like a punch to the stomach. But then I notice something else. The receipts aren't just for a room. There are other charges. Room service. Baby supplies from a nearby pharmacy stapled to one of them. Baby supplies? My mind spins with confusion and dread. I take photos of everything, put the receipts back exactly how I found them, and lock the car. Tonight is Wednesday, which means Colin will probably drug me again and go to that hotel. But this time, I'm not going to be unconscious in bed. This time, I'm going to follow him. I call Diane the moment I get home. "I need you to come with me tonight. I tell her, my voice shaking. I'm following Colin. Natalie, are you sure that's safe? I found hotel receipts in his car, Riverside Inn. He goes every Wednesday night, tonight. I need to know what he's doing there. Diane is quiet for a moment. Okay, I'll come. But we're staying in the car, and if anything feels dangerous, we're calling the police. Deal? Deal. The rest of the day drags by in agonizing slowness. Colin comes home at 6, just like he said he would. He's cheerful, asking about my day, talking about a house he sold. I smile and nod and pretend everything is fine while my stomach churns with dread. At 9 o'clock, right on schedule, Colin makes my tea. I watch him move around the kitchen, this man I've shared a bed with for 5 years, and I don't recognize him anymore. Who is he? What has he been doing to me? He brings me the blue mug with a smile. Here you go, sweetheart. Thank you, I say, accepting it with steady hands. He settles on the couch with his laptop. I wait until he's focused on the screen, then stand up. I'm just going to get my sweater from the bedroom. It's cold in here. Want me to turn up the heat? No, I'm fine. In the bedroom, I pour the entire cup of tea into an empty water bottle I've hidden in my nightstand. I'll give it to Diane later for testing. Then I rinse the mug in the bathroom sink and refill it with plain water. Back in the living room, I make a show of drinking the tea over the next 15 minutes. By 9:30, I start my performance. Yawning, heavy eyelids, slow movements. I can barely keep my eyes open. I mumble. I'm going to bed. Colin looks up, and I see it clearly this time, the relief on his face. Sleep well, honey, he says. I change into pajamas and get into bed. Through the closed door, I listen to Colin moving around. The sounds are familiar now. The phone call, the closet opening, the duffel bag. At 10:15, I hear the front door close. I wait 5 minutes to be sure, then I jump out of bed and throw on jeans and a dark sweater. I grab my phone and keys and slip out the back door. Diane is already parked down the street, just like we planned. I run to her car and jump in. He just left, I say breathlessly. We have to hurry. We catch up to Colin's SUV 3 blocks away and follow at a safe distance. My heart is pounding so hard I feel sick. The Riverside Inn is a 20-minute drive across town. It's a modest place, 2 stories, maybe 40 rooms. The kind of hotel that rents by the week. Not cheap, but not expensive either. Colin pulls into the parking lot at 8:47. We park across the street where we can see the entrance. I watch my husband get out of his car, carrying that black duffel bag. He walks to the entrance like he's done this 100 times before. Casual, comfortable. He disappears inside. What do we do now? Diane whispers. I need to see which room he goes to. Natalie. But I'm already getting out of the car. I cross the street and slip into the hotel lobby. It's small and dated, with worn carpet and a bored-looking clerk behind the desk. I pretend to check my phone, watching from the corner of my eye. Colin walks down the hallway and stops at room 118. He pulls out a key, he has his own key, and lets himself in. I duck into an alcove near the vending machines and wait, my pulse racing. What is he doing in there? Meeting someone? But who? And why the duffel bag? 10 minutes pass, 15, 20. Then the door to room 118 opens. A woman steps out. She's younger than me, maybe in her late 20s, with auburn hair pulled into a ponytail. She's wearing jeans and a simple t-shirt. She looks tired. She walks to the ice machine just a few feet from where I'm hiding. I hold my breath, pressing myself against the wall. She fills a small bucket with ice, then turns and walks back to room 118. She knocks. Colin opens the door and lets her in. My whole world tilts. An affair. Colin is having an affair. That's why he's been drugging me, so he can sneak out every Wednesday night to be with her. The betrayal is so sharp I can barely breathe. I stumble back to Diane's car, tears streaming down my face. What happened? She asks. There's a woman, I choke out. He's in there with another woman. Diane grabs my hand, but I can't feel it. I can't feel anything except the crushing weight of my husband's lies. We sit in the car for another hour, and I'm about to tell Diane we should leave when the hotel door opens again. Colin steps out, but he's not alone. He's carrying a small child, a little girl, maybe 3 years old, wrapped in a pink blanket. The woman walks beside him, her hand resting protectively on the child's back. They stand in the parking lot, talking quietly. I can't hear what they're saying, but I can see their faces in the light from the hotel sign. Colin hands the child back to the woman. They hug briefly, not romantic, but familiar. Then the woman carries the child back into the hotel. Colin stands there for a moment, watching them go. Even from this distance, I can see the expression on his face: sadness, longing, love. He gets in his car and drives away. I sit frozen in Diane's passenger seat, unable to process what I just saw. Was that... Diane's voice trails off. A child, I whisper. Colin was holding a child. I don't sleep at all that night. Colin comes home around midnight and slips into bed beside me. I keep my eyes closed, my body rigid with anger and confusion. A child. Colin was with a woman and a child. Is the little girl his? Has my husband been living a double life this entire time? The questions torture me until sunrise. Colin wakes up acting completely normal, makes breakfast, kisses my cheek, heads to work like he didn't spend last night in a hotel room with another woman and a child who might be his daughter. I wait until his car disappears down the street, then I make a decision. I need answers, and I know someone who might have them. Leonard Morrison, Colin's younger brother. Leonard is a pharmacist at a drugstore across town. He's always been quiet around me, awkward in a way I used to find endearing. Now I wonder if he's been hiding something all along. I drive to the pharmacy and wait in the parking lot until I see Leonard come out for his lunch break. He's heading to his car when I intercept him. Natalie? His face goes pale when he sees me. What are you doing here? I need to talk to you. Now. I'm on my lunch break. I don't really have time. Leonard. My voice is sharp. Either we talk here or I call Colin and tell him I followed him to Riverside Inn last night. Your choice. All the color drains from his face. You followed him? Get in your car. We're talking. Leonard's hands shake as he unlocks his car. We both get in, and he stares straight ahead, not meeting my eyes. How long have you known? I ask. Known what? Don't play dumb with me. The woman, the child. How long? Leonard closes his eyes. God, he said you'd never find out. Well, I did. So start talking. He takes a shaky breath. Her name is Vanessa Price. The little girl is Sophie. She's 3 years old. The confirmation hits me like a slap. Is Sophie Colin's daughter? Yes. The word hangs in the air between us. I feel like I can't breathe. From when? I managed to ask. Before we got married? Yes. Colin and Vanessa dated briefly about 4 years ago, right before he met you. It was short, just a couple of months. She got pregnant, but she didn't tell him. My hands are gripping the door handle so tight my knuckles are white. Why not? Vanessa has problems. Mental health issues, severe anxiety, panic attacks, trust issues from a really bad childhood. When she found out she was pregnant, she was terrified. She broke things off with Colin and disappeared. He had no idea she'd had his baby. Until when? 2 years ago. Sophie was about a year old and Vanessa was struggling. She'd lost her job, couldn't afford childcare, was having panic attacks so bad she could barely function. She finally reached out to Colin for help. I turned to look at Leonard. And Colin just, started supporting them? He didn't have a choice, Natalie. Sophie is his daughter. He couldn't abandon her. He could have told me. My voice rises. He could have been honest instead of drugging me every week so he could sneak around behind my back. Leonard flinches. I know. I told him it was wrong. I told him he needed to tell you the truth, but he was terrified you'd leave him. So instead, he violated my trust, put sleeping pills in my tea? Vanessa made him promise to keep everything secret, Leonard says quietly. She's extremely paranoid. She doesn't trust people, doesn't trust the system, doesn't trust social services. She was convinced that if anyone found out about Sophie, they'd try to take her away. That's insane. Maybe. But her anxiety disorder makes her see threats everywhere. Colin was the only person she'd let into Sophie's life because he's the father, but she made him swear not to tell anyone, not even you. I lean back against the seat, trying to process this. So Colin's been lying to me for 2 years, drugging me every Wednesday so he can play father to a secret child. He was trying to protect everyone, Leonard says. Sophie needed a father, Vanessa needed support, and Colin was terrified of losing you if you found out. Well, he's going to lose me anyway, I say bitterly, because I can't forgive this. I get out of the car and walk back to mine on shaky legs. But even as I drive home, one thought keeps circling my mind. That little girl, Sophie, is innocent in all of this. She didn't ask to be born into this mess. And despite everything, I can't stop thinking about the way Colin looked at her in that parking lot, like she was the most precious thing in the world. By the time I get home, I've made a decision. I'm going to confront Colin tonight. No more pretending, no more drugged sleep. It's time for the truth. I spend the entire afternoon preparing for the confrontation. I pour the tea sample into a container for Diane to test, though I already know what she'll find. I take screenshots of the hotel receipts. I rehearse what I'm going to say. By the time Colin walks through the door at 6 o'clock, I'm sitting at the kitchen table, every piece of evidence laid out in front of me. He sees me and stops. Natalie? What's all this? Sit down, Colin. Something in my voice makes him go still. He sets down his briefcase slowly and takes the chair across from me. I slide the photo of the pill bottle toward him. Zolpidem. Sleeping pills prescribed to you 6 months ago. His face goes white. Hotel receipts from Riverside Inn, I continue, showing him the photos. Every Wednesday for the past 2 months. And this. I pull up the video I took on my phone last night, zoomed in on him carrying Sophie in the parking lot. Care to explain? Colin's hands start shaking. He opens his mouth, closes it, then drops his head into his hands. Oh, God, he whispers. Natalie? I can explain. You've been drugging me. My voice is surprisingly steady. Putting sleeping pills in my tea so you could sneak out to visit your secret daughter. His head snaps up. How did you? I know everything, Colin. About Vanessa. About Sophie. About the lies you've been telling me for 2 years. Tears start streaming down his face. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry for what? For having a child you never told me about? For drugging me unconscious every week? For making me think I was losing my mind? All of it, he chokes out. I never meant for any of this to happen. Then tell me the truth. All of it. Right now. Colin takes a shaky breath and starts talking. He tells me about Vanessa, how they dated briefly 4 years ago, how she broke things off suddenly and he never knew why. How 2 years ago she called him out of nowhere, terrified and desperate, with a 1-year-old daughter she could barely take care of. She was living in her car, Natalie. She'd lost her apartment, lost her job. She was having panic attacks so severe she couldn't function. And Sophie... His voice breaks. Sophie needed stability, needed food and diapers and a safe place to sleep. So you helped them. What else could I do? She's my daughter. I couldn't just abandon her. You could have told me. I slam my hand on the table. We could have figured this out together. I wanted to, Colin says desperately. God, Natalie, I wanted to tell you so badly. But Vanessa made me promise. She has severe trust issues from childhood trauma. Her parents were abusive. She was in and out of foster care. She's convinced that if anyone finds out about Sophie, the authorities will take her away. That's paranoid. I know, but her anxiety disorder makes her see threats everywhere. She barely trusts me, and I'm Sophie's father. She made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone, not even you. Said if I did, she'd disappear with Sophie and I'd never see my daughter again. I close my eyes, feeling the weight of his words. So instead of being honest with your wife, you chose to drug me and lie to me for 2 years. I thought I could handle it quietly, Colin says, his voice breaking. I thought if I could just help Vanessa get stable, get her into therapy, help her find a job and a decent place to live, then eventually she'd be okay with me telling you I was trying to protect everyone. By violating me? I stand up, too angry to sit. Do you have any idea what it felt like? Thinking I was going crazy? Losing hours of my life every week and not knowing why? I know it was wrong. I know I should have trusted you. But I was terrified, Natalie. Terrified of losing you. Terrified of losing Sophie. I made terrible choices because I didn't know how to handle an impossible situation. I stare at my husband, this man I thought I knew, and see a stranger. I need to meet her, I say quietly. Colin looks up, shocked. What? Vanessa and Sophie. If we're going to have any chance of getting through this, I need to meet them. I need to see this situation for myself. Natalie, I don't think that's a good idea. Vanessa will panic. I don't care what Vanessa will do, I interrupt. You've been making decisions without me for 2 years. Now I'm making one. Either you arrange for me to meet them or I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. Your choice. Colin stares at me, tears streaming down his face. Okay, he finally whispers. Okay, I'll talk to her. 3 days later, I'm sitting on a park bench watching a little girl play on the swings. Sophie has Colin's eyes, dark brown and expressive. She has his smile too, the one that crinkles at the corners. She's wearing a yellow dress and light-up sneakers, and she giggles every time the swing goes high. Vanessa sits beside me, tense and watchful. She's thin, with shadows under her eyes that speak of sleepless nights and constant worry. Her hands won't stop moving, twisting the hem of her shirt, picking at her nails. Colin stands near the swing set, pushing Sophie gently and talking to her in a soft voice. I'm not here to judge you, I say quietly to Vanessa. She glances at me, surprised. You should. I'm the reason your husband's been lying to you for 2 years. You're also a mother trying to protect her child. I understand that, even if I don't agree with how you went about it. Vanessa is quiet for a long moment. I know I'm not normal. I know my anxiety makes me paranoid. But when Sophie was born, I was so scared. Scared I'd fail her. Scared someone would take her away because I wasn't good enough. Colin told me about your childhood. Then you know why I don't trust anyone, why I don't trust systems or authorities or people who say they want to help. She watches Sophie swing, her expression softening. But Sophie needs more than I can give her alone. She needs stability. She needs her father. I had to let Colin in, even though it terrified me. And you made him keep her a secret. I was wrong, Vanessa says, and her voice cracks. I see that now. I forced Colin into an impossible situation because of my own issues. I ruined your marriage because I was too broken to handle things the right way. I watch Sophie laugh as Colin catches her at the bottom of the slide. The pure joy on both their faces is undeniable. Colin loves her, I say. He's a good father, better than Sophie and I deserve. Don't say that. Sophie deserves all the love in the world, and so do you. Vanessa looks at me with tears in her eyes. Why are you being kind to me? I destroyed your life. You didn't destroy it. You just complicated it in ways I'm still trying to understand. I take a deep breath. But that little girl is innocent in all of this. She didn't ask to be born into this mess, and she deserves a chance at a normal, stable life. Over the next hour, we talk. Really talk. Vanessa tells me about her struggles, her therapy appointments she can barely afford, her night shifts at a grocery store while a neighbor watches Sophie. She's trying so hard, but she's drowning. Colin joins us, Sophie in his arms. The little girl looks at me with curious eyes. Sophie, this is Miss Natalie. Colin says gently. She's a friend of Daddy's. Hi, Sophie says shyly, then hides her face in Colin's shoulder. My heart cracks open. That evening, Colin and I sit in our kitchen. The house feels different now, heavier with truth, but also clearer. I talked to a lawyer today, I say. Colin's face falls. Natalie, not about divorce, about setting up a support arrangement for Vanessa and Sophie, proper child support, legal documentation. He stares at me. You'd do that? I'd do it for Sophie. She's your daughter, Colin. That makes her part of our life now, whether I'm ready for it or not. I pause. I also made some calls. There are programs that can help Vanessa. Subsidized therapy, housing assistance, childcare support. Real help, not just money. I don't know what to say. Say you'll never drug me again. Say you'll never lie to me again, no matter how hard the truth is. I swear it, Natalie. On everything I have, I swear. And say you'll go to marriage counseling with me. Because, Colin, what you did, the violation, the lies, that broke something between us. I don't know if we can fix it, but I'm willing to try if you are. Yes, anything. I'll do anything. I look at my husband, and I don't see the man I married anymore. I see someone flawed and desperate who made terrible choices trying to protect people he loves. Can I forgive him? I honestly don't know. Over the following months, a new normal slowly emerges. Vanessa starts therapy, real, consistent therapy with a trauma specialist I helped her find. She gets on medication that helps manage her anxiety. With proper support and Colin's financial help, she moves into a small but safe apartment. Sophie thrives. She's enrolled in a good preschool. She has regular meals, consistent bedtime routines, and 2 parents who love her, even if they're not together. I see Sophie once a week, usually at the park. I'm not trying to be her mother. She has one of those. But I am part of her life now. She calls me Miss Natalie and shows me her drawings and tells me about her day. Colin and I attend therapy every week. Some sessions are brutal. I rage at him about the betrayal, about the sleeping pills, about every lie. Other sessions are quieter, where we try to rebuild trust, piece by tiny piece. The easy comfort we once had is gone, maybe forever. But something new is growing in its place, something more honest, if more fragile. 6 months after that night I pretended to sleep, Vanessa calls me. Her voice is stronger now, more confident. I got a promotion at work, she says, full-time with benefits. I can finally afford Sophie's preschool without Colin's help. That's wonderful, Vanessa. I wanted to thank you for not hating me, for helping me get the support I needed. You didn't have to do any of that. Maybe not, but Sophie deserved it. And honestly, so did you. That night, Colin and I sit on our porch watching the sunset. He reaches for my hand hesitantly, and after a moment I let him take it. Do you think you'll ever forgive me? He asks quietly. I think about it honestly. I don't know. Some days I think maybe. Other days I remember waking up foggy and confused, and I want to scream at you all over again. That's fair. But I'm still here. That has to count for something. He squeezes my hand gently. It counts for everything. We sit in silence as the sky turns pink and gold. Our marriage isn't what it was. That innocent, easy love is gone, destroyed by secrets and sleeping pills and lies. But maybe what we're building now is stronger, built on truth instead of illusion, on conscious choice instead of blind trust. Sophie is part of our lives now. Vanessa is slowly healing. Colin is learning that protection and deception aren't the same thing. And me? I'm learning that sometimes love isn't about perfection. It's about deciding what you can live with and what you can't. About drawing boundaries and demanding honesty. About choosing to rebuild even when the foundation has cracks. I don't know if Colin and I will make it. The betrayal cut deep, and some wounds don't fully heal. But for now, I'm here. Taking it one day at a time. One honest conversation at a time. One step forward even when I want to run away. Because in the end, that little girl with Colin's eyes deserves a chance at a stable family. And maybe, just maybe. So do we